Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I am a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, which is midday in Australia, or 1 AM if you're in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. Do remember, if you miss live streams, you can catch up and watch them at any time by clicking the videos tab at the top of my Twitch page. Alright, so I hope you guys had a good weekend. As always, if you've got any questions while I'm working, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If I can help you in any way, I'm happy to try. If you just want to pop in and say hello, that's always welcome, but if all you want to do is watch, that's completely fine. Alrighty, so what are we doing? We are working on the House in the Hollow game, which is available now to wishlist on Steam. You can find a link to the Steam page below my panels for the game. We're working on the master bedroom for the game, and last week, pardon me, last week we were working on the main bookcase for the bedroom, and today we're going to start working on the 4-poster bed for the bedroom. That's the plan anyway. So let's jump straight in, I guess. If we jump into Max, this is the bed we are going to be working on for the master bedroom. We have to texture it up in Substance Painter, and I'm going to UV map it in Rhizome. So that's what we're going to do today. We'll start the UV mapping, then we'll do some vertex colouring, and then we'll take it into Substance Painter, more than likely tomorrow for Substance Painter. Smokeberry, it's good to see you, buddy. Hi, did you have a good weekend? How's things? I did see the couple of the videos you posted in the Discord server. Remember, guys, if you haven't joined the Discord server, you can get a link to it in my panels to join the Discord. And Smokeberry posted some videos. You actually posted that video on foveated rendering. I've actually seen that video. It's really cool, isn't it? Anyone that wants to know what we're talking about, jump on the Discord server in the general chat. Smurfberry posted a video on foveated rendering, and it's this AI-assisted rendering technique that basically mimics what the human eye does. So the human eye really, it's only like a circle in the middle of your eyeball that is high resolution. The rest of your peripheral vision is much lower resolution. It's the same thing that NVIDIA are doing in their VR. When you use VR. You can have the rest of the image a lower resolution, and just this circle in the middle is a high resolution. This AI is able to reconstruct all of the low resolution image just from the high resolution. It's really interesting. You should check out the video. I thought it was really interesting anyway. It's a video on a paper that they've done called foveated rendering. Alright, so yes, this bed, we're going to start taking it into Rhizome to start UV mapping it first, I think. Now at the moment, it's a good idea. I can show you how I make things like this, and it's just made up of all these different sections at this stage. Of course, we'll attach all of these together before we take it into the Unreal Engine, or before we send it to Substance Painter actually, except for a few things. This blanket on the end of the bed, the actual mattress and the pillows are going to stay separate, and so will these curtain pieces, because what I can do inside the Unreal Engine is we can bring one of these in and we can instance it then 3 times, so it uses much less memory and reuses the same textures. So we'll keep those separate, we'll keep the mattress separate, the pillows separate, the blankets separate, but the rest of it will all be attached as one piece. I'm going to keep it separate here while I do UV mapping in Rhizome, because I want to use the plugin. And now the plugin has problems sometimes. It's a free plugin, so you can't complain. But so I've noticed with complex models, when you try and use the plugin, it doesn't save the model correctly. There's some problem. The author who created the plugin, it wasn't me, when he's saving out the FBX file, basically what the plugin does is it saves the FBX file to a temporary file on your hard drive, and then it loads up Rhizome and it loads that temporary FBX file in. It's somewhere in his plugin. I don't know whether it's the version of FBX he's saving it out as, which I can't change because I don't have access to the source code. It's breaking. So if it's a simple object, generally Rhizome is fine with the plugin. If it's a complex object, no. Now, if you don't want to use the plugin, Rhizome is completely fine. If you just want to save your file out manually from Max or whatever 3D program you're using and import it into Rhizome, you won't have a problem. It's only a problem if you use the plugin. So the other reason I'm keeping all of these separate is I'm hoping that if we send these through to Rhizome separately, because they're quite simple pieces on their own, Rhizome, the plugin, let me be clear, not Rhizome, the plugin won't have a problem. So let's see. We'll start with these bottom pieces. We'll work our way up. Let's open up the plugin and send it to Rhizome. Okay, now the plugin requires that the mesh be an edit poly, not an edit mesh, so easy enough to fix. Yeah, it seems fine sending it through separately, at least on this piece. So let's start UV mapping. What will we use? Let's try this one. No. Let's try this one. No, it's not going to work for us. Let's try this one. No, we're getting a bit of stretching happening. Not terrible. It's not a dark red, but let's see if we can find something a bit better. Nope. Did we try this one? I can't remember. Yes, we did. Okay, this is one of those objects that's going to be a bit of a pain. Yeah, it's going to be a pain. We're not getting any stretching, but it hasn't done a really great job at unwrapping this. You see all the seams. So while this is not ideal, this is a better unwrap than the others. We could probably improve it a little by just doing some manual work. Like we'll remove the top piece, I think. Might be a good idea. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Let's see if removing the, separating out the top piece helps. Smurfberry says, I'm in the middle of an intense Supreme Commander 2 match. Oh, cool. That's why you're ignoring me, Smurfberry. You mean you're not watching the impeachment proceedings on TV? I'm disappointed, Smurfberry, as an American. I felt sure you'd be watching your impeachment thingy. I don't blame you. We can improve the stretching a little bit just by hitting the optimize button here inside of Rhizome. Smurfberry says, I'm not here to talk politics. Okay. We won't talk politics then. That's a bit better of an unwrap. It's helped a little bit. Again, I'm just optimizing it a little bit with the optimize button. Yeah, that'll be better. We are, like I said, getting a little bit of stretching, which is the red, but it's not a dark red, so it's not stretching too badly. And it gives us the advantages. We've only got the one seam down the back and one at the top, as opposed to cutting all the way through the mesh. So that'll work. And we're going to place a wood texture on this anyway. It's not going to be a pattern texture, so we should be good. Sending it back to Rhizome. Now, Rhizome puts this modifier down, which I'm going to throw an unwrap on top of. Check that our UVs have transferred correctly, and they have. And we can copy that unwrap. And we should be able to paste it down on this one. And you see the seam is on the inside of the model as well. So convert it to a poly, paste our modifier. And convert it to a poly and paste our modifier. I always like to double check that the UVs have transferred correctly, because you just never know. Better to be safe than sorry. Alrighty, let's keep moving our way up. This piece here. Yep. It's an edit poly, which is good, which is strange. Should have been a mesh. Nope, poly's fine. Let's send that over. Let's UV map it up. This one should be quite easy to map, I think. Yep. Send it back. You guys and girls getting ready for the new season of Altered Carbon on Netflix? I can't wait. Another great sci-fi show. Alrighty, let's keep going. Let's do these little pieces here. You don't need to do your unwrapping in Rhizome. You can do it all in the 3D program, but I really like the automated tools that Rhizome have. So let's try this one. Nope, that one ain't gonna work for us. Let's try this one. Just wondering why Rhizome is doing this. I can't see my UV map layout. Not a big deal. I can tell from the checker pattern whether it's a problem. Again, we're getting a little bit of stretching on the end of the what this is. It's like a rivet or something for the bed. But again, I think that'll be okay. Throw down an unwrap, check that our UVs have transferred correctly. going to convert this to a poly as I go. That'll remind me what's done and what's not. Okay, next one, which will be this. This one, probably not worth sending over to Ryzen because that's just cylindrical mapping, so I'm just going to get it UV mapped in max. We're on unwrap down, double check our unwrap, that's fine. And last one. Tell me too, guys, I'm playing, I downloaded 160 new audio tracks, music tracks, royalty free, open source stuff, so I don't get in trouble. And I did vet them quickly, and I had to remove like 15 songs because there was swearing in them. So it's probably hard to hear with me talking over the top anyway, but if you do hear any swearing in any of the songs playing in the background, please tell me, because I will be removing them. Not that I have anything against swearing. It's just that we want to keep the stream family friendly, and I don't want swearing in my songs in the background. If you want to swear, have at it, but I don't want it on my stream. So just keep an ear out, just in case there's any swearing in any of these songs. And this one, this is going to be another hard one to UV map because of the shape of the thing. Nope. 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 We tried this one, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, you want to make my life hard, don't you? You really do. Nope. Okay, I think why it's having a bit of a problem is because this is okay. Let's jump back into Max here. Ryzen, this is what I mean. Sometimes Ryzen, its algorithms get completely confused when it tries to do a mapping. So let's see if we can't do this in Max. Just going to isolate that so we can see it more easily. Let's see if we can do a cylindrical map on this. It won't be ideal because there is a twist in the mesh, but let's check it. Let's throw a checkup pattern down. We'll go with a 20 by 20 checker. Why? Okay. Alright, you want to be like that. Let's throw down a standard map. I'm going to change the color to make it white. Yeah, it's not great. Our textile density is pretty much all over the place. Well, can we do this? Okay, that's not going to work for what we want, so the only other options are really to do it by hand. I'm going to get rid of that unwrap. Max has built-in tools as well. It's got flattened mapping. Let's see if the built-in flattened mapping will work. It's like a bit of a mess, but let's double check it with that texture again. The textile density is better, but the UV mapping is pretty horrible. Again, the design of this piece of geometry is quite weird. Alright, let's give Rhizome another go and let's see if we can do it by hand.
I'm a killer on the track. Never mind him soft coming back with a smack. Blasting fools never lost his back. Thirsting for blood even more, just like that, 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 just like that. I'm a killer on the track, 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 on the track. Never mind him soft coming back with a smack.
How's your game going, Smithbury? I shouldn't talk to him, he's probably concentrating on what he's doing. It's a slug of attrition.
Your body, girl, it look like whoa.
And normally with this sort of thing, I'd suggest remove the top and the bottom polys, but because of the way the bed post is made up, we can't, because it actually overhangs the lower and the upper, so we need the polygons on the top and the bottom. That probably would have been my first go-to, would be to actually remove the polys. It would have given the program an easier job at unwrapping. But we can't do that. Joys of UV mapping. Seems quiet around here today for some reason. That's okay. Bill doesn't have to talk as much. When has that ever stopped me from talking? Never. That's when, never. Okay. Now, let's see here. Again, getting a little stretching in the red. Not too much though, and again it's going to be a wooden texture, so not a pattern, so it should be alright. But our textile density is much better. So it should work for what we want. Yeah, again, the reason we had to do it by hand was because these algorithms are generally really good, but to what? But depending on how odd the geometry is, sometimes they just can't work it out. So let's send that back to Max. Let's get rid of that checker pattern. And throw an unwrap down. And don't worry, we're going to be repacking all of these again once we've got everything UV mapped up and attached. So don't think because you look at the unwrap here that we're wasting a lot of space. All of that will be fixed when we repack all of the UVs. Okay, we should be able to paste U on. Let's convert it to a poly and then do a paste. Good. Let's remember to sit up. I have a habit of slouching and that's not good. There we go. This one. And we should be back to where we started. Yes, good. Let's move on to this piece here. Over to Ryzen. Again, you see all these pieces that I'm UV mapping, they're triangulated, they're not quad meshes. The original model when I designed it, when I made it, was quad mesh. I've done a reduction because it's going into a game engine. And as soon as it goes into a game engine, it's going to be triangulated. So rasterization means triangulation. So there's no point in keeping it as a quad. Quad is nice to work on while you're modeling. But if once it goes into a game, it's automatically, as soon as the engine imports it, going to turn it into a the triangles. The advantage of having it as triangles in the 3D program is because I can then see how many, if I need to keep an eye on my poly count, if it was quads and then brought into the engine and then triangulated, it's not going to be the same poly count. It's going to skyrocket. So, because basically you're splitting a quad into 2 tries. So it's basically at least going to double your triangle count. So the easiest way to get to see exactly how big it's going to be when you take it into a game engine is to make sure it's triangulated in the engine, in the 3D program while you're working on it. Just wanted to explain that for anyone that might be watching and thinking, why am I working in tries and not quads? Same deal. We're getting a little stretching on the edge of the lip there, but not too bad. We're getting a bit here in the joint and the seam. We'll just see if we can optimize it a little. But I think we should be okay. We're getting a bit of squishing as well, but again, the blue isn't too blue and the red isn't too red, so we should be good. We do have a seam showing on the outside edge here. I should have cut the seam on the other side. So what I can probably do is just make sure that my pivot is in the middle of my object. I'm just going to rotate that around so that the seam is on the inside edge. That'll just make sure we avoid any problems. We might run into that one's on the inside edge, so that's all right. Actually, no, it's not. So let's just rotate this one around as well. Again, we're using a wood texture. It's probably not going to be noticeable the same, but just to be on the safe side, we'll make sure it's rotated around. Because the player is never actually going to be able to get inside the bed. I'll probably put a blocking volume around the bed to prevent the player from getting in there anyway. Because the player don't need to take a nap, not in the game that we're creating. So, in fact, I think that there's some scripted response if a player tries to get into the bed, because we have a voiceover, like a voiceover for different parts of different things that you're doing in the game. I think one of the scripted things was, you know, about not being able to sleep or not lying down or something. Again, I can't really remember exactly what was in the script.
Darkness, are you listening? I can feel your pulse again, creeping through the rhythms of my heart. In the night, I feel you here, whispering inside my ear.
Just wondering why I don't see my scene. Why do I not see my scene? Where's my scene? Why do you not show up? Definitely transfer the UV, so that's not a problem. We're not within the 0 to 1 space, but again, we're going to do a repack on this anyway, so that's not a problem. Why on earth is my scene not showing up? It's very strange. This one shows up without a problem. Not this one. How weird. I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's look at this one. Another one where we're not seeing the same. I really don't understand why. It's very odd. I'm just doing this temporarily so I can see. Try and see what's going on. It's just that the edge mode is not showing up. Why would that be? Face mode shows up, point mode shows up, but edge mode does not show up. That's a new one. That's either a bug in Max or some weirdness going on. Really strange. Yeah, edge mode not showing up. Weird. It's alright. Let's keep going. Just one of Max's many quirks. Now this is another one of those pieces. It's going to be a real pain to UV map. Alright. Let's convert it to a poly. I like to make life hard for myself here. Again, you would think, oh, we could throw a cylindrical map on that, but we're going to have that problem with the textile density like we did with the other piece, I think. So this is another one we may have to take into Rhizome and do by hand, because you know how much I love doing all this, doing UV mapping. I just love UV mapping. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Oops, wrong button. Always hit the wrong button. Okay, select an edge. Oh no, not that edge. Select an edge. And again, I don't want to just... this program is very good. This is just a really weird piece of geometry. To try and expect any program to be able to work out an automatic unwrap for you. The human brain does a much better job than any AI at the moment at least, ever will do. Don't know about the future, but certainly at the moment. Thank God for us. Otherwise the AI just wouldn't need us, would they? Okay, let's slice that. And then let's just do a general slice from the top. And again, if I knew which my direction here would make it easier, but where the inside edge was, but we can just rotate the mesh again, so from the top. Down to the bottom. So make sure my seam is okay. Should be. Do an unfold, do an optimize, do a pack. And we should be good. Let's send it back to Max. Create an unwrap, check our UVs. Copy our unwrap. Jump out of isolation mode, that would help. Paste there. Now this one, it's really not going to be worth our while rotating it to try and hide the seam, because the seam actually rotates around the mesh anyway, so there is no angle we could rotate it to where we would not see the seam. Again, the seam is in the crease line and it's going to be a wooden texture, so should not be an issue. Okay, let's keep going. This piece here. Actually, I think this piece here. don't think we can copy the UVs. Let's try and be sneaky. Let's see if we can copy the UVs. Maybe we'll, maybe won't. We'll see. No, it's not going to copy across, so that's okay. Let's send this one over to Ryzen. There's some change in the mesh. It's not completely identical, so that's why we can't copy the UVs across. And this one should be quite simple. We just need to do a cut line from the top to the bottom. Do an optimize. Should be good. The seam line, let's rotate it. Let's just rotate it back a little bit. I took it a bit too far. Anyone know if there are any good new games coming out soon? Now that Cyberpunk's been delayed till the end of the year. I was looking forward to playing that game, and now I've got to come up with something else to play. Sniper Echo, hola to you as well. How are you, buddy? You good? Smurfberry's distracted by playing... What's he playing? He's playing Supreme Commander 2. So. But I hope you're well, Sniper Echo. I was just saying that now that Cyberpunk 2077's been delayed till the end of the year, I need to find a game to play. Sniper Echo says, doing good, thanks, Phil. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, I've been working very late recently. It's been busy between the Archviz studio and the game studio. I had a lot of work to do. So I've been working till like, I think I went to bed last night at 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. And I get up at like 6:37. So 3 to 4 hours is not enough sleep. Minimum 5. So normally I work till about 1:30 or 2. But because of the amount of work I got going on at the moment, I've had to work until closer to 4 in the morning. Which is cool. I love what I do. I'm not complaining. If work are watching, I'm not complaining. I do love what I do. It's just, yeah, it's tiring though. It's just, you feel tired. But I'm good apart from that. Sniper says, yeah, I don't know what games are coming out, to be honest. Nothing really exciting. I didn't think so. I thought all of the major new stuff's coming out at the end of the year now, isn't it? Because there's 3 or 4 major titles that have been delayed, that were due to come out at the beginning of this year, have now been delayed till the end of the year. So yeah, I didn't think there was anything interesting really coming out soon, unfortunately. It's going to center my pivot. Let's isolate this piece so I can get a better look at it. I know this is a piece that cylindrical mapping should work for us without a problem. I'm going to cap it. That should be fine for that piece of geometry because it's pretty much a cylinder. Jump out of isolation. I'm going to throw an unwrap down. That's okay. Basically what's happening is we've got UVs lying on top of each other, but we're going to do a repack at the end anyway, so that should be fine. Let's copy our UV map. Alexander Helsing. Thank you, Alexander, for the follow. I do appreciate it. My notifications aren't coming through, but I see them in Discord. So, Cubes Boxall, thank you for the follow, Cubes Boxall. Of course, Alexander Helsing, thank you as well. Alexander. Naomi Candle, thank you, Naomi, for the follow as well. And Forcestus, my apologies if I've mangled your name. Forcestus, thank you as well for the follow. I do appreciate it when you guys follow my channel, my Twitch channel, so thank you. Do remember too, if you want to, join the Phil Does 3D Discord server. I've just popped a link in Twitch chat there. Only subs can post links in Twitch chat, but everyone can post links on the Discord server. I've set it up so there's a gallery section where if you do 3D or any artwork, it doesn't have to be 3D, you can post images in the gallery. There's a section where you can post links to your ArtStation or your portfolio or demo reel. And there's also a tutorial and tips section there and stuff where you can, where the users have collected a whole heap of really useful, free, interesting video tutorials and that you can look through. So if you're learning 3D, it's a great place to learn. The tutorials and tips section on the Discord server. So everyone's very friendly, very helpful. If you got any questions at any stage and I'm not streaming, you can pop on the Discord and leave a message and I will either answer you or one of the other guys and girls on the Discord will, because they're all very talented. Let's paste that. Now again, we've got these seam lines happening here on the outside edge, so I'm just going to rotate our object around so the seams are in the inside but we'll never see them. Another one of those ones where it, oh, I haven't done it, that's why. I was going to say where the seam line isn't showing, but it's because I haven't actually pasted the UV map down. There we go. That would help. Again, if you're new to my channel and you want to know more about me, you can go to phildoes3d.com. That's my website. You can look at my gallery of some of my work. There's links to my ArtStation, my Twitter, my YouTube, all that sort of stuff. All the social media stuff. So... that one's okay, it's on the inside. This one we haven't done. That one's okay, it's on the inside. Alright, let's keep going. So we're up to there. The last piece on this post is the very top piece. Now this one we can't really use cylindrical mapping because of this jutting edge here. Cylindrical mapping is not going to map correctly along that flat piece. So we'll take this into Ryzen, we'll do the mapping in Ryzen. Let's just do a quick save because we've done quite a bit of UV mapping and we don't want to lose the work we've done. Again, I have to make sure that it's an edit poly, not an edit mesh before I send it over using the plugin. This one we're going to do by hand. It's an open edge, so that's alright. Again, we're getting a little stretching, but I don't think that can really be avoided. Yeah. But for the most part, it should be fine. Textile density is nice and even. Let us copy our UVs. Again, we're going to rotate it so that the seam line is on the inside of the mesh, not along the outside here, to try and hide it. Oops. Now that's what happens when I don't change my pivot position to the middle of the object. I did that on purpose, you see, to show you. I didn't do it on purpose, I forgot. Bill's line. Another one where we're not seeing the where the edge mode is not showing up for some reason. It's really weird. I don't know why it does that. Because map seams is certainly turned on, but it just doesn't show up. Very odd. Edge mode won't show up at all. Weird. Very weird. Anyway, so the posts are done. Let's move on to doing, let's look at these pieces here. And we'll work our way back down again. Yeah, we'll use Ryzen for this one. Let's try the automatic unwrap. Let's see if we can get a different result with one of the other automatic unwraps. What a mess that is. Nope. Nope. Again, you might be tempted to use box mapping inside of Max to do this, but box mapping is, because of all these indentations, probably not going to work really well. Probably the best result we're going to get out of Ryzen. What I might do though is we might send this to Max. I'm just going to jump into isolation mode here. throw an unwrap UVW down. And let's throw a checker pattern back down again. I just want to find out where these pieces are. Okay, there, these pieces through here. Okay. Let's just position this so we can see both the mesh and the UV layout at the same time. Just going to move that just off to the side here. I'm just scaling it up so that the textile density is the same as these pieces. It was too big. So we want it to be the same size as these ones. More like that. Now we can just move it back into the 0 to 1 space and then we'll repack it in a short while anyway. Let's get rid of that checker pattern because it gets distracting. Copy our unwrap. Good. Now I'm not sure if we can use the same, if we can paste the unwrap on these pieces because I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. Yes, no, that's good. Excellent. Saves us re-UV mapping it. Alright. Let's work on this piece through the top here. Again, this is just a box, yep. So we can just do box mapping. Alright. So, posts are done, the bed frame at the top is done. Oh, we do have these posts, these bits through here, but again they're just boxes, so we'll just do box mapping on that. And the piece on the end. Alright, so top section done, those done. Let's move on to the bed base. Box mapping will probably work for this. Let's move on to the bottom mattress. And again, should be able to get away with box mapping on this. We are going to get probably a little stretching happening around here. In fact, let's just throw down that checker pattern just to double check. Yeah. That's what I thought. Let's not use box mapping on this piece of geometry. Let's send it over to Ryzen. Let's see if we can get a better unwrap using Horizon. Oh, sorry, I've been ignoring chat. Sniper says, I wonder, is it time? Do you think it's time? Oh, don't you dare. He's threatening to do a silence me for 5 minutes. One of the rewards for guys that have watched if you watch a stream, you know how when you watch Twitch streamers now, you can earn reward points. Sniper says, if it's one thing I like, it's silence. YOLO to you as well, Euro. How are you? Sniper says, I think I got the ignored for 5 minutes. Sorry, Sniper Echo. I get so engrossed in what I'm doing, I forget about the chat. Particularly, it's when it's a little quieter. It seems to be a bit quieter today for some reason. Don't know, where is everybody? But it's good to see you, Euro. He's threatening to do the silence me for 5 minutes. One of the rewards, if you watch my channel, is you can silence me for 5 minutes, because I generally never shut up. I never stop talking, and sometimes people want me to shut up, so you can silence me for 5 minutes. But it's really hard for me to do because I love talking so much. So I love to talk. I don't like to be silent. But it is one of the rewards. You see that Rhizome does a better job at unwrapping this. And you'll also notice the bottom of the mattress does not have a poly. Just disable a few polygons here and there. Because you never see the bottom of the mattress, there is no polygon. But again, you have to be careful with this sort of thing when in a game engine, because you can get light leakage. I've mentioned it before. Generally, you want a watertight mesh to stop light leaking behind the mesh. But depending on the object, you can sometimes get away with it. So. Euro says, I'm good, thanks. Leaky mattress. That's right, a leaky mattress, Euro. That's right. You know what I mean. Yes, a leaky mattress. You can get a leaky mattress with no bottom. So if you have no bottom, you can get a leaky mattress. But we should be good for the game engine. And if we're not, then it just means we have to cap that bottom up. But I'm pretty sure we'll be fine in the game engine. And again, we're using UE4. For anyone watching that doesn't know, I'm creating assets for a game that I'm working on with the game studio called The House on the Hollow. And we're making assets for the master bedroom. Let's just assign that plain texture again. Jump out of isolation mode. Euro says, could cap it and scale that shell tiny to save in UV space if you need to. Yeah, no, that's true. You could. I don't have a base, a bottom, just to try and reduce the number of polygons as much as possible, because this bed is quite detailed. So anywhere I can reduce polygons, I want to, and that's why I didn't put polys on the base, because you'll notice the mattress is actually sitting inside of a wooden base anyway. So that's why I don't think we'll have problem with light leakage. The same goes for these curtain pieces here. They're only one-sided. There are no polygons on the back. That's why they're black. That sort of reduces the poly count in half. And we can fake it inside the Unreal Engine by creating a two-sided shader. So it'll look like a normal curtain when we bring it into Unreal, but we save half the polygons by not having polygons on the back. So just anywhere I possibly can to reduce the poly count is what I'm going for. Well, let's move to the top mattress. Now again, I know that this is not going to map using box mapping. We're going to have to send it to Horizon, because it's like the bottom mattress. Let's send that back. Same sort of deal with this blanket. it's not going to map properly using box mapping, so let's send it to Ryzen. Ryzen might have a problem with this blanket. We'll find out. It's a weird shape, another weird shape. Again though, you see that there are no polygons on that bottom part of the blanket, it's just like a shell. Again, we might have problems with light leakage. When we get it into the engine, we will find out when we start setting the bedroom up. Euro says, sounds like a plan. Euro says, man, central Scotland got snow and I got none, although it's dry enough for it. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'd love to live where it's snow. I hate Australia. It's too hot. It's too hot. We are in the middle of summer at the moment, so, you know, I guess I can't complain, but man, is it hot. So hot. Today's not too bad. It's getting up to like 41 degrees Celsius on Friday, I think. So that's not going to be too nice. Actually, we're going in for a period of like 4 days of really hot weather where I live, so. You don't have snow yet, Euro says. You are in winter though, so I imagine it will snow there at some stage soon. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Let's see. And that should do for what we want. Euro says, debatable. This past decade has been too warm for decent snow like we used to get. Oh no, that's global warming. I told you. Global warming, it's going to get us all. That's terrible. Yeah. We never get snow. It does snow in Australia, don't get me wrong. But you've got to go up to the mountains for snow. And I don't really want to live on the top of a mountain. I'd love to live in the snow, but yeah. I have to stick close to the city for work, unfortunately. The weather has been getting hotter. Australia has always been a very hot country, but now with global warming, it is getting so hot. And it's not just the hot weather, it's the extended period of hot weather. It's like, normally when I first moved to Melbourne, you get a really hot day, but then you get 2 or 3 cold days, and then a hot day, and then 2 or 3 cold days. Now you get a hot day, a hot day, a hot day, a hot day before you get a cold day. So it stays hotter for longer. And that's global warming. Floods, we've had bushfires in Australia, as you guys probably know if you've watched the news, which are dying down now because now we've got flooding. Now there's parts of Australia that are flooding. So again, global warming, extremes of weather, it's just terrible. We've got to force those politicians to do something. Euro says, I remember when a hot day in Aussie was reported as the mid-40s. These days it seems like 50 is the norm. Yeah, 50, 55, that's right. It used to be under 40, like 39 sort of thing. That was a hot day. Now it's like 49. And in 10 years' time, I hate to think what's it going to be, 59? I mean, once it gets above a certain temperature, you can't go outside because it's just dangerous. So unless the politicians do something and we stop burning so much fossil fuel and polluting the environment, and I hate to think what it's going to be like in 10 years' time. I really do. It's scary stuff. Euro says, need to start living underground. But I mean, but where's the fun in that? Living in a hole in the ground. I mean, really? I like a view. I like green things. But hey, if the temperature gets high enough, everything will be brown, I guess, in the end anyway, won't it? It's just terrible. Terrible. Not to mention, like I said, the increased bushfires. We've had so many people die of bushfires. Thousands of homes have been destroyed because they've been burnt to the ground. So the politicians in this country, the excuse they always use for not doing anything against global warming is because we sell a lot of coal, like brown coal, which is really dirty and really bad for the environment. polluting. But we sell a lot of it. And the politicians, of course, are paid by these big mining companies to say the right thing and do the right thing and not change anything. But now politicians come out saying, well, you know, we can't really get rid of coal because our economy is built on it. So, you know, it's going to cost us too much money if we stop selling coal because the government gets taxes from the mining companies. The problem with that argument is it's costing Australia now billions upon billions, tens of billions of dollars because of all the bushfires, which are caused by the coal, which is global warming. So it's a bit of a false economy, really, for the government to say, well, you know, we can't do it because it's going to cost our economy too much money. It's going to cost the economy huge amounts of money because people are losing their jobs, people are losing their homes, you know, whole sections of the countryside are burning to the ground. That's going to cost more in the long run, so... And I think maybe the politicians are starting to realise that now. It beggars belief it's taken them this long to think that far ahead, to put cause and effect into their head and think, well, maybe this is not such a good idea after all. What? Anyway, don't get me started. Euro says, I remember when a hot day in Aussie was about 40. Euro says, need to start living underground. There's that town in Australia that's all caves. Yeah, there are a couple actually, particularly in the middle of Australia, because the whole of the middle of Australia is all desert, and it's really, really, really hot. And there are towns in that desert in different spots, particularly like a lot of the opal mining towns. They tend to live in caves because it's so hot. So you are right, there are places where people do live in caves. Euro says, yeah, Australia should invest in solar, I think so, in solar farms and export energy to Malaysia, the Philippines and New Zealand. I agree. We've got Australia as a continent is incredibly flat, incredibly old. It's like 4.5 billion years old. Like, the landscape hasn't changed. We don't have volcanoes. We don't get the hurricanes that move that far inland. So the middle of our country is very flat, very stable, geologically stable. No, very few earthquakes, all that sort of stuff. It's a perfect spot for a solar farm because it's desert. It's always sunny. We hardly ever get cloud in the middle of the country. So you set up a huge solar array in the middle of Australia, you could generate huge amounts of energy without the risk of damage because, like I said, very few earthquakes. The country is very stable. It's very flat. It's the perfect place for a solar farm. Perfect. So I agree, Euro, they should. Euro says, also fun fact, solar farms trap moisture near the ground due to the shade that they provide. I didn't know that. Well, that's an added benefit, another added benefit of going solar and going green, clean energy. The problem, you know, you guys know, politicians are the problem. They get kickbacks from companies, they get lobbied, like if you're a US citizen, your Congress people get lobbied by big business to change laws or make things so that big business makes more money. It's the same in this country with mining companies. That's the reason nothing ever changes. Unfortunately. Send this pillow over to Ryzen. I could bitch all day long, and I frequently do. Regulars on my channel will tell you, because it really annoys me when I see, that's no good, just how much damage is being done to the environment with global warming. And it doesn't have to be that way. You know, we're quite smart as a species. We can quite easily manage the planet without destroying it, if we really, really want to. We've got a lot of smart scientists and a lot of smart people on the planet. Just common sense will tell you that you can't live on a planet that's in a runaway greenhouse effect because of global warming. So, Yuri says, yep, lobbyists, that happens in the UK too. Yeah, that's the problem. They've got to stop business doing this. Sniper says, take 5 pill. Oh, he's gonna hit that silence button. He's gonna silence me for 5 minutes. Euro says they should make lobbying illegal. I think they should too. They should make lobbying illegal. Euro says, wrecks so much stuff when lobbying is pure profit driven. Yeah, and it always is. Unfortunately, always pure profit driven. But I agree, Euro, they should make it illegal. Where you lobby, where big business lobbies our politicians to change laws to favour big business. Now you'll notice we got 3 pillows, but I'm only going to UV map 1 because we're going to instance it inside of the engine to make 3 pillows on our bed, but we're only going to use 1. So we save on polys, we save on texture, all that sort of stuff. Memory, all the good stuff. So I'm only going to do up one pillow. And I'm actually, just so to remind me, I'm going to rename this pillow UVW or UV. That way it'll remind me that the other pillows are not UV'd and do not bring them in. Okay, the headboard. Let's send it to Horizon. Again, the headboard, probably flattened mapping would work for the headboard, more than likely. Again, you'll notice the back has no polys, because this bed, when we start designing the bedroom, the master bedroom, we're going to put the bed right up against the wall, so the player will never go behind the bed to see that we don't have a back. Just don't do that. Okay, now this, it did its normal unwrap here. I'm just going to help it along a bit because I really don't like the way it's done at this automatic unwrap. So okay. I might have to do it in the UV layout. In fact, let's just go back here. Just keeping an eye on that request window to see if Sniper Echo is going to silence me or not. I wouldn't say I don't trust him, but I don't trust him. Oh, you're really being a pain. You may do this one in Max. Mr. Square Peg, hello to you too. Sniper says, live in fear, Phil. It's good to see you, Mr. Square Peg. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? What you been up to? Live in fear indeed. What I'm going to do here is I'm not going to send this back to Max. We're going to jump into the isolation mode. And I'm going to do a planar map on this in Max. And we're going to see what result that gives us. It might work, it might not. You're doing good. Good to hear, Mr. Square Peg. Mr. Square Peg's not much going on here. That's cool. Let's just throw the checker pattern down. Now, again, planar mapping, not terrible, but not really getting us what we want on the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collapse the stack, leaving the unwrap on. And we're going to send it back to Rhizome now. It's still done that. I'm just trying to get Rhizome to remove that central cut line. And for some reason it's having a problem stitching it. I'm not sure why. So I'm just going to again jump back into Max and we're going to check out this asset in a little bit more detail by going into the channel info. No vertex colors, no illumination, no alpha. That's the UV map we just laid down. Let's have a look here. Again, let's see if we can't do something about it in Max. Max won't let me stitch it either. I wonder why. Why? I've noticed with some assets, sometimes the UV mapping can be quite odd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this piece of geometry just to my desktop as a temp file. BCKTMP. FBX is fine. Okay, following maps are only supported by this. It's basically what it's telling me here is you've assigned a checker pattern material in Max and the FBX format does not support checker. That's fine. We're not interested in the actual shader. Euro says maybe there's an unwelded vert in the mesh. Sometimes symmetry can be funny. You could be right, but let's see if we can get around to doing it this way. Let's import. Actually, before I import this, let's just rename this object 1 old, because remember Max has that really weird quirk where if you have an object in your scene named something and you import an object with the same name, FBX that is, then Max won't import it. Go figure. Where did I put it? Didn't I save it onto the desktop? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going blind. Now, let's unwrap this and see if the seam line is the same. Yep, it is the same. Maybe it was OBJ. Let's export it as an OBJ. I think OBJ strips all that out from memory. Where is OBJ? I'm going to turn off texture coordinate. Let's import. Let's do an unwrap and check it. Okay, now you see that there are no UVs assigned to our object. That's our original layer, that's the OBJ version we just imported. We're not concerned with the mesh itself so much. What I'm going to do is throw down and edit poly, just to clean it up. Now we're going to send this version over to Horizon. Make sure it's collapsed, otherwise the plugin will complain. Looks like it might still be there. Maybe not. Let's look at... Just undo that. And now we don't have a seam line in the middle. Our textile density looks good. No problem, Sniper. So let's send this back to Max. We have a couple of options. We can either swap out the asset. Let's see if we can copy the UVs across, so that'll be easier. Select, copy. Select. Paste. And unfortunately we can't copy the UVs over. That's okay. Let's just do it this way. I'm just going to make sure my pivot's in the middle. I'm going to rotate it. Make sure angle snap is turned on. If my pivot had been in the middle before I did the export, it would have just replaced it in exactly the same spot. But I didn't check that before I exported it, so it's no big deal for us just to place it back where it should be.
Here I am, don't try to make a fool of myself. Opening up, but I'd rather keep the things unsaid. Don't blame me, I don't blame you.
Just making sure they line up. They don't have to be perfect. That's the new one. That's the old one. There we go. Let's just assign the plain color. We don't need the checker pattern there at the moment. Alright, now we move on to an interesting part. This backboard, this is going to be a real pain probably, because it's really complex geometry to try and UV map. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to convert it to a poly, just to give the program as much help as possible. I'm going to detach these pieces. And we'll detach these pieces as well. And we'll leave that as one object for now. So let's send these over to Horizon. This mapping method should be okay for this. Yes, that'll work for what we want. Okay, let's move on to this piece here. Again, the same mapping method should work. That's fine. And now we come to the really interesting part, which is this bit here. So let's send that over to Horizon and let's see how we go. Now, let's see if we can select sub-objects here. Let's isolate that piece. Let's see if we can use this method here. And that should work for what we want. Show. Isolate. Let's try this one. It should work for what we want. I was afraid of it. These pieces are one piece. Let's see how it goes mapping this up. Complex geometry, really weird shape. Okay, let's try this one. We have a lot of cut lines, but we're not going to be able to avoid having a lot of seams, unfortunately, because the shape of the object is so weird. It's not too bad. Let's see if we can get a better result from one of the others though. Just got to wait for the program. You can see it working up here. The other thing I like about Horizon and its UV tools is I can stop that unwrap at any time. If I'm doing this sort of automatic unwrap in Max, using Max's unwrap tools, there is no way for me to stop it. I have to wait for it to finish or wait for it to crash the program. At least with Horizon you have the option to actually stop it, which is nice. Always nice to have the option. This is not going to work for what we want though. That's actually, I think, going to create maybe more cut lines. It's probably better unwrapped than the first one though. We're not getting any stretching that we were getting over here. Lots of cut lines, but again, not a lot we can do about it because of the shape of the object. I think it's probably the best result we're going to get for that piece of geometry, I'm afraid. So let's go back to show. Let's do this piece over here. Okay, and let's do these pieces now. I'm going to do them separately. I like the fact that our cut lines are at the back, but it's stretching and not great. So let's see if we can get a better result with one of the others. Yep. And again, this is probably going to be the best we're going to get, even though we've got a few more cut lines than I would like. A few more seams. We could, of course, always go into Max and we could weld some of these seams together if we wanted to. Let's have a look at that. Just going to just weld a few of them together. I think we can reduce it a little bit. We'll leave the weld through the base. Let's just clean these up a bit. We have to be careful we don't remove too many, because otherwise we are going to start to get some stretching happening. Alright, let's show. Now. Yeah, let's do this final piece over here.
Never modern soft coming back with a smack. Beat marathon, I'm a killer on the track. Never modern soft.
And we're going to do the same thing, we're just going to go through and tidy it up.
Never lost his back. Thirsting for blood, even more just like that. I'm a killer on the track. Never modern soft coming back with a smack.
Yeah, we're getting some stretching. Again, it might be okay because it's on the back of the model where it faces the wall.
a killer on the track. Never mind him soft coming back with a smack. Blasting fools never lost his back. Thirsting for blood even more, just like that, 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 just like that. I'm a killer on the track, 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 on the track. Never mind him soft coming back with a smack.
Yuri says, one of my monitors died today. Oh no! I've had that happen. I scared the buggery out of me actually. I was working away because I usually use 2 monitors when I work. This happened maybe 6-8 months ago. Not with the new monitors, with the older ones. Working away, getting into the groove, you know, and all of a sudden I hear this bang, and the screen went black. It scared the bejesus out of me. One of the capacitors popped, blew, but the bang noise really scared me because it was so close to me. And at the same time, the screen went black. So sort of like you had the bang, and then there was this visual thing, and I thought it almost. I thought something had exploded next to me because it was really loud. So that's no good. Yura says I'm going to fix it. Just have to wait on some capacitors to arrive. The main power one is gone. Yeah, I've done that too. Opened up the back and swapped out some capacitors, soldered in new ones. Because I loved my old monitors and didn't want to lose them, but had no choice. Eventually I gave up and thought, because then they went again. Like another capacitor blew in one of my monitors, so I retired it. Euro says, I can't PC with 2 screens anymore, need 3. I can't, I have 3 in front of me, but only 2. I only work with 2. This third screen is attached to my other computer. The one I actually stream on, that one over there. But it's that side. That side. So I use 2, but I use 2 big screens. So I used to be the same. No, I used to use 3. It certainly helps having more screens, more than one. Anyway, is always helpful. Because I can use Max on one screen, and like I said the other day, I use Photoshop on the other, or whatever it is, the software that I'm using. It's always handy to have 2. Or even if I'm just working in one program, I can have my email client open so I can keep an eye on work if they send me stuff. Or I could have Discord open on another one, you know what I mean. It's handy. Yeah, but I always remember when the capacitor blew. Pardon me, because it scared the Jesus out of me. It really did. Because it was so quiet, and I was working away, and all of a sudden, bang. Freaked me out. Nero says, it's been temperamental for a little while. I was nesting it, but it ain't having it anymore. So all the TLC and the loving ain't working now, Nero. Monitors are one thing that they tend to last a long time. Like, you know, you upgrade your PC, you upgrade your hard drive, you upgrade your RAM, your video card. But the monitor is the one thing that tends to stick around through all PC upgrades, you know what I mean? Because it's something that we all tend to use for a very long time. And it's really important. It's an important part of your PC because it's the thing you look at. It shows you the pictures. It's all there. The monitor is the most important thing, really. Smurfberry says, alrighty, I got to go early. No problem, Smurfberry. Thanks for being here. Hope you, good luck with your game. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, Smurf. Alrighty. I think we should be pretty good. I think we've cleaned it up. Well, we might just clean up these 2 bits at the end. Because why not? And I think that should be good, so let's unhide everything. I don't think we've forgotten anything. Everything is UV mapped, so let's send it back to Max. Murkberry says, oh, we actually won finally. Oh, good. It took 2.5 hours. Well, you won. That's the important thing, Smurf. You have a good night, Smurfberry, though. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Let's jump out of isolation mode. Okay, what have we got left? I think there's only a few bits and pieces left. Let's send, this will be interesting, another object that's really going to be quite difficult to UV map. But let's just do a save before we do anything, because we don't want to lose what we've done. Now let's send this over to Ryzen. Again, it wants it to be an edit poly. Let us try and map this up now using the automated tools. No, I mean, it didn't do a bad job using that one, but let's see if we can get it to do a better one. Let's try this one. Yeah, again, it's a really strange shape to try and map. Let's try this one. You see how it's mapped it, but I don't really think we're going to get a better job than that. Because the thing is such a strange, weird, convoluted, complex shape. We're going to have a UV map here that's pretty broken. But we're not going to be doing any hand texture painting, so we're going to be using a fabric material, like a solid color fabric material inside a substance painter, so it should work for what we want. Not ideal, but not the worst for the object anyway. I mean, yeah, because even us trying to do manual seams is going to be really difficult because of the shape. So we're going to say that's okay. It'll work for what we want. Let us copy our UV maps across. Actually, I don't even think I need to do that, because I'm going to reuse the same one object 3 times, instancing it in Unreal. So we only have to UV map one of them, just like with the pillows. So let's jump on to the curtain now, and again we're going to send this over to Ryzen. Again, very complex shape for the program to try and UV map. Most of it, the majority of it's UV mapped as one piece. It's broken it up a little bit. That's not a bad result. I'll just see if we can't get a better result with one of the other tools here. Nope. This result might be a little better, where it's breaking the mesh up a little bit more through here, actually. Yeah. No, I think the first one was probably better. I'll just try the last 2 to see if there is any change. I think this pelt unwrap is probably the best we're going to get. It's keeping that as one continuous piece. We are getting a little bit of stretching happening in here, but because of where it is in the mesh, I don't think it's going to be noticeable inside the game engine or on the model itself. We are going to be throwing a pattern material on this, so we have to be careful of stretching and squishing, and that is a darker red, so that means it is stretching quite a bit there. But because of where it is inside the mesh, I really don't think in game you're going to notice it. So I think that probably will be okay. Let's send that back to Max. Alrighty, let's do a save. I think we might have textured everything up, but everything texel density is all over the place at the moment, so we need to make sure our texel density is the same for the entire model. Now, we're going to keep the curtains separate because we're going to reuse that. We're going to keep the pillows separate because we're going to reuse that. We're going to keep the mattress and the blanket separate. We might attach them as one object, but we're going to keep them separate from the rest of the bed. So let's start attaching the bed together now. Again, make sure I save it before I start doing an attach. So let's collapse our stack. And let's start attaching these pieces together. Actually, I just got to stop that. I want it. I've obviously assigned a different material to that piece there, and I shouldn't have. So I want to keep it as one. It doesn't matter. We can reassign it. All right. Let's keep attaching. Well, no. We don't want the curtains. We want the bed frame. We want the wooden posts as part of the bed, or the wooden frame at the top, I should say. We want these pieces as well. And we want the back post. Nero says, did you use Elo Fuller's Max News January video yet? Did you see Eloy Fuller? Max? No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Not if it's a January one. I don't think. No, I don't think I have yet, Euro. Have you? What's he saying in his video? Let's get this post over here. I probably butchered his name as well. My apologies. But what's he saying in his video, Euro? Okay, let's make sure we get these pieces here as well. Let's get the backboard. Oh no, we don't want the pillows. Euro says it's got some nice stuff in it. Few people offering free scripts and open sources and open sourced others. Cool. And Euro's just popped a link to the video inside the Discord server. Becca Drive, thank you for following the channel, Becca. I do appreciate it. So yeah, jump on the Discord server. If you're not a member, click the link I've just popped in Twitch chat if you want to join the Bill Does 3D Discord. Euro's just popped a video he's talking about here in the Discord server, and I'll check it out after the stream. Apparently it's got free scripts and open sourced others, so that's cool. Some cool archive stuff in it too. Cool, thanks Euro. Okay, so let's just double check here. I think we might have everything we need attached together now. I'm just going to check how many, what we got going on here. So, what I'm going to do is select the bed and I'm just going to move it and see what's left behind. Nothing is left behind that shouldn't be. Yeah, no, that's mattresses, that's cool. So let's move it back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Told How says, what's the resolution of your monitor? My monitor is a 4K monitor, so 3840 by 2160 pixels. So yeah, 4K. It's a 4K screen. Yep, it's 4K as Euro says. That's why everything looks so small, probably for you guys here on stream, the icons, because yeah, it's 4K. So what we're going to do here now is, we're UV mapped up, but everything's lying on top of each other. So I'm going to throw down an unwrap UVW, open up the UV editor. You'll see what I mean. We're going to select everything, and I'm going to get Max to do a pack. We're going to have to wait a minute because Max has got to work it out. But it's good to see you told how. Euro says desktop real estate. That's right. The 4K screens. I actually use two 4K screens. This one that you see me on, and the second screen beside it's 4K too. That's why I only use two screens. I got enough real estate with two screens. But I used to use three screens. Not 4K screens. I used to use three 2K screens. Now I use two 4K screens. Let's throw down the checker pattern on this. Let me just increase the checker pattern a little bit so we can look at it a bit more easily. So let's tile it 80 times. And we can check our texel density to make sure everything is texel mapped, UV mapped correctly. Now the only thing that's not is the base piece here, I'm noticing. That's the one we used in Max. So I'm just going to throw down an edit poly, select that and detach it. Open up the UV editor. Scale these. Reattach it to the rest of the mesh. We are going to have to repack it again because we've made some adjustments to the size of the UV maps. So one more repack. Euro says I have two 1080p and one 2K 1440p. Thankfully it's a 1080p needing surgery. Okay, let's deselect that. And also looks like these ones will need to be fixed as well. They're the ones we also did inside of Max. So, but let's do a save here. So I'm just going to do a save as, so we have another revision copy. We'll do it revision 5 opt underscore UVW, and tomorrow we'll just make those small adjustments to the pieces at the top to make sure our textile density is the same. Everything else on the bed, you see the textile density is correct. It's just those pieces at the very top we've got to fix up. And it looks like I might have a problem also with the UV mapping here, so I'll check that as well. But we will do that tomorrow. I do want to thank you guys though for hanging out with me and for watching. As I said, I'll be back on again tomorrow. We'll pick up where we left off here. We'll finish making sure our textile density is correct and everything is UV mapped correctly. And then we're going to jump into Substance Painter tomorrow and start texture painting it. We have to do some vertex colouring as well before we jump into Substance Painter, but that won't take too long. But yeah, I want to thank you guys though for being here and for watching and for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. I also want to thank Cubes Vauxhall, Alexander Helsing, Naomi Candle, Orcestus, and Becca for the follows. I do appreciate it, guys. So thank you very much for following the channel. I'm live every Monday, Tuesday, so I will be back on again tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific in the United States. You guys and girls have a great night, great day, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. See you guys.